Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 10 questions you should ask during a data scientist job interview. Oftentimes, you get to the end of an interview and they ask you if you have any questions for them, and it's so important to have questions prepared. One, it shows that you're interested in working there and are trying to see yourself at the company. And two, it's super important because just like they're trying to make sure you're a good fit for them, you need to make sure they're a good fit for you as well. So let's take a look at these 10 questions. Where do project ideas originate? How are models maintained? What does the QA process look like for code and for products? What does finished look like for data science products? How are projects roadmapped? Can you give an example of a successfully integrated data science product and what made that project so successful? What areas of growth are you most excited for in the team? How often can I expect feedback and how is it structured? What does career growth look like for someone in my position? And how much of my work is independent? Let's take a look at these one by one and talk about why they're so important. Where do project ideas originate? This is important because you want to know who ultimately decides what you're working on. Does leadership decide based on what they think will be hot in the market? Do clients get to decide based on contracts? Or do you get to come up with ideas based on trends you see in the data and knowledge you can bring to the table? Before a project is decided on, do you perform a proof of concept to make sure you have the appropriate data and the appropriate tools? If you have a great idea, who do you talk to about it, and could that become an implemented data science project? How are models maintained? This is really important to ask to see whether they have more one-time analytical projects or whether they truly have implemented machine learning algorithms which need to be maintained and retuned. Once a model is implemented, how often is it revisited? If there are bugs, who would fix them? And at what cadence are models updated? And how are model outputs monitored to determine when a model should be retuned or revisited? The third question, what does the QC process look like for code and for products? You would be surprised, a lot of companies have data science departments which are fairly new and are somewhat of a black box to other teams. This is an important question to ask to see if there's a standard process in place. Who checks code and who is responsible for signing off on it? How is versioning done? Are there standards for model performance? And once a data science model is ready to be implemented, who checks the code and the final product? What percentage of time is allocated for QCing projects? Or is there really a push that once something is done just to get it implemented, but the QC process is not as well defined? What does finished look like for a data science project? Are there standards for what a finished data science product looks like? Is this code or model output, a dashboard, a written report? And what documentation is required? What does it look like internally and what does it look like for clients? And who is responsible for writing it? How is the code automated and who does that? Is it you or the engineering department? Does something have to pass a rigorous QC process before it's considered finished? These are all important to know, especially to take stress off you if there is no clear definition of when a product is finished. The next question is, how are projects roadmap? Does the company use a road mapping tool such as Jira, Airtable, Wrike, or Asana? How are goals aligned across teams and to company goals? How often are roadmaps written and reviewed? And how is work documented and kept track of? Can the interviewer give an example of a successfully integrated data science product? And what were the key items in making the project successful? This question will give you great insight into a couple of things. One, how much is the manager in tune with a project and how are they successful? This could be things like communication between teams, team members, across teams. This could be a project manager, hardworking team members, or things like a clear outline of the project requirements from a customer or a client. What areas of growth are you most excited for in the team or for the company? This should be super easy to answer if there is growth potential in the team or if the company is innovative and constantly evolving, but this will be a hard question to answer if the team and the company is not focused on growing, learning, and implementing new things. How often can I expect feedback and how is it structured? I know feedback or criticism, whether positive or negative, makes a lot of people uncomfortable, but this is one of the most important parts of being able to grow personally and in your career. It's not just important to receive feedback, but also to learn to give feedback. This is the only way to know how you're performing and how others view your work. It's incredibly important for growing in your career, and you want to be somewhere where you're able to receive feedback to improve and grow personally and professionally. How much of my work is independent? You may love working in a team or love just putting your head down and getting work done. But it's important to know how often do teams meet? Are there daily stand-ups? Are projects independent? Are you teamed with someone more senior to be a mentor or mentored or more junior to mentor them? And then the last question, what does career growth look like for someone in my position? You really want to find somewhere to work where you can grow in your career both professionally and personally. This could be things like access to Udemy, attending conferences, having a brown bag meeting where you can teach or learn, being able to present in front of team members or clients, being able to work with other teams and learn from them, taking classes, leading projects, and then certainly receiving feedback and horizontal or vertical position changes. Those are the 10 questions I would ask during a job interview. It's so important to make sure that where you work and spend at least 8 hours of your day is somewhere where you can grow as an individual. Thank you so much for watching, and please like the video, leave feedback, and hit subscribe for more videos like this.